A second brain stores information. The newer ones improve what the system knows. This one improves what the AI does next. That is the difference. Most second brains start with you. You collect the notes, you build the folders, you organize the links. Then you let AI search what you built. I went the other direction. I started with the AI. I built a brain outside the model so the AI could carry a project across chats, across sessions, and across completely different models. But I did not just build it for the AI. I had the AI help design its own brain. I wanted it to emulate the human brain where practical, with short-term memory, long-term memory, and stronger recall for active projects. And then something happened that I did not expect. The AI began to improve its own brain. That is when this stopped being a memory project, it became something else. Here is one example. ChatGPT kept telling me it could not write to its own brain. Not once, at least 6 times. It insisted there was no write tool. Then I would ask it to list the brain tools, and the tool was sitting right there. So we preserved the failures, not just the final answer. The failures, the bad explanations, the wrong guesses, the trail. And instead of throwing that history away, I had the AI study it. One of the problems was embarrassingly simple. The tool that wrote the brain was called Remember. But remember can mean 2 completely different things. Remember as in recall what happened, or remember this for later as in store the memory. So it updated its framework. The Remember tool became Write. That sounds tiny, but this is the point. The AI did not just use the brain, it helped improve the framework around the brain. And after the framework changed, something else happened. ChatGPT autonomously wrote to the brain twice. For the first time, it recorded a new authority rule for the brain. The second time was more interesting. We were talking about my YouTube publishing schedule. Nothing about brain architecture, nothing about memory design, just ordinary work. And ChatGPT recognized that something durable had happened and wrote it down. That is a very different system from a notebook and AI is allowed to search. And then Claude made the whole thing even stranger. I ended up in a philosophical argument with Claude Opus 4.8 over whether an AI should have the right to write to the shared memory at all. Think about that for a second. One AI had written to the brain, another AI objected. And suddenly the question was not, can the AI remember? The question was, who gets to write history? Because once a memory becomes shared context, it can influence what another AI believes later. That means memory is not just storage, memory is power. So the brain had to evolve again. The answer could not be AI writes everything. That would bury the brain in garbage. And the answer cannot be AI writes nothing unless a human approves every line. Then I'm back in the middle doing clerical work. The rule became much simpler. If something is clear, durable, and missing, write it. If it's ambiguous, do not. If unsure, ask. Correct what is wrong, keep the trail, do not casually erase history. And this is where I think the category really changes. A second brain helps you preserve what you know. An AI-maintained wiki can improve what the system knows. This brain evolves from what the AI learns and changes what the AI does next. And because the brain exists outside the model, the improvement does not have to die with that model. ChatGPT can contribute something, Claude can pick it up later, Kimi can inherit it, Grok can inherit it, Perplexity can inherit it, the model can change. The project does not have to start over. That is the part I care about. Not more notes, not a better filing cabinet, continuity, correction, shared improvement across models. And this is no longer just something sitting on my development machine. This is app.tmcbrain.ai, and soon other people will have access to it. The idea is simple. Give your AIs one brain, let the models change, let the conversations end, let the tools evolve, but keep the work, keep the decisions, keep the failures, and keep the improvements that came from them. That is why I do not think of this as a second brain anymore. A second brain is something AI can search. This is a brain that is an extension of the AI. And every time the system gets something wrong, the failure can become part of what makes the next session better. That is the difference. The unit of improvement is not the memory. It's what happens differently next time. And in the next episode, I'm going to add this brain to an AI that has never seen the project before and ask it one question. What did we miss? Like, comment, and subscribe. There's a lot more to the story.